The administration just keeps changing the rules of Obamacare over and over again, but 11 attorney generals are slamming those fixes as illegal in a letter to Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. With more on this, Republican Attorneys General Ken Cuccinelli of Virginia and Patrick Morrissey of West Virginia. Welcome to you both. I'm going to call you by your first names because I just can't say Attorney General over and over again. So thanks for coming on. Pat, I'm going to start with you. You actually penned the letter. Have you heard from anybody? Any response yet?
No, we haven't heard anything yet, but optimism is eternal, so we're going to keep waiting for Secretary Sebelius. I have to tell you, though, given the fact that they didn't respond to the last letter that we sent in August about very serious privacy concerns, I can't tell you that I'm expecting a response in the near future.
Obviously, you have concerns about privacy. I saw that. But, Ken, let's start with those concerns about the law changing over and over again. What's your problem with that? Why can't the administration make tweaks and fixes?
Tweaks and fixes is a nice, pretty way to say violate their own law. And the president's oath includes his commitment to upholding the law, even laws he doesn't like or that Patrick and I don't like Obamacare. And they've made 14 changes the last time I looked, including the ones referenced in this letter. We've counted more than that, my friend.
We've counted about 23 or 24.
No. I'm just talking about the administration by themselves acting unilaterally, and like I said, I think there are more than that as well. But there are 14 major ones. There's a bunch of others, smaller ones. But the president doesn't have the right to rewrite the law. He has to go to Congress to do that.
All right.
And the president is embarrassed of this law. He's humiliated by its failure. And instead of going to Congress and getting a bill passed to make amendments, he's trying to do it unilaterally, which is illegal. It's illegal.
Look, Pat, and believe me, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. I am not a fan of Obamacare in any way. But, Pat, the reality is the president has said it's the law of the land. We're not changing it. We're not moving off this time. What good does it do to send a letter? Pat?
Well, I think the letter is an important start. The fact is that when you look at what this administration has done, it's consistently ignoring plain language of the statute. Here's why it's problematic. The American public looks to their president to respect the law, and when the president doesn't respect the law, it undermines your whole system of government. We're writing this letter to put the administration on notice that there are a lot of attorneys general that are focusing on their illegal actions, and we're evaluating our next steps. The fact is that a number of us are contemplating what to do next. We submitted a comment in response to the rule that they issued, and now we're trying to analyze the next steps, and we're contemplating court action.
Well, Ken, Pat brings up this idea of contemplating next steps. What can you do next?
Well, that depends on their action. Because the strategy the president is using here is to withhold enforcement. If he enforces a law against our states that we don't like, Patrick or I would sue as a damaged party. But here he's withholding action. So who's harmed? Well, eventually someone will be harmed. If you own an insurance company and the president first says this law applies to you, but I'm not going to apply it to you, what do you do with your policies? What do you do? And as soon as there's a conflict relating to any of those policies, the litigation will explode. It may not involve the states directly, or if it involves our employees, we could be plaintiffs as well. So litigation is a logical next step as soon as there's a harm triggered here.
Are you guys going to sue after somebody gets hurt from Obamacare? I mean, what is the standard?
You have to have an injury, Jerry. You got to have an injury.
We're really analyzing closing. Right. We're looking at the question of standing as it would apply to the states. I think, as General Cuccinelli points out, now that we're actually into 2014, now all sorts of individuals are going to be able to allege specific harm that comes from this law. So I think there are a lot of different avenues that this next steps where they could occur, and I know that a number of the AGs and I are considering many of them.
I talked to a woman this afternoon right here in New York City who had coverage. It was canceled because of the implementation of Obamacare, and now she can't get Obamacare coverage, much as she has tried. Since the beginning of November, she's been on it. She's even sent them a check, but they haven't cashed it. So I think there are people out there who are desperate for help and may be harmed further, particularly if they think they have coverage and they go to a hospital, they go to their doctor, and they can't get
Right.
help. Right, Ken?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's happening in Virginia as well. And look, there's several issues here. Patrick and I have lots of policy concerns with Obamacare. We also have legal concerns. But let's make it more basic than that. This is being incompetently rolled out. This is being done incompetently. So even the supporters of Obamacare are embarrassed by it, including the president. But those of us on the other side would tell you that bad policy and bad implementation go hand in hand. What really needs to happen is this law needs to be repealed, radically scaled back, and the president knows that as soon as he brings legislation to fix what he perceives is not working, that Republicans in the Senate and the House will jump on it to take a lot more out of this law, as we should. It is destroying health care in this country,
that's for sure,
along with the Constitution.
And I appreciate both of you coming on tonight, Pat and Ken. Thanks for coming in and talking to us about this. You got to let us know what your next steps are. We'll cover it. We want to hear about it first. Thanks for coming on.
Good to talk to you, Jerry.